Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. And the week before last week, actually, we had a quiz about the last few ayah of the Juz 3. And Alhamdulillah, a lot of brothers did good, and one of the brothers scored 10 out of 10. So may Allah give all of them reward for their efforts and all the time they have given. Inshallah ta'ala, today we'll start the Juz 4. Juz 4 basically is half of Al-Imraan basically. So starting from Ayah 93 to the end of the Surah Al-Imraan, which is Ayah number 200. So almost 108 Ayah from Surah Al-Imraan, and then 23 Ayah from Surah Nisa. So we are talking about 130 or 31 ayah in Juz 4. And it covers two surah, the end of the second half of Surah Al-Imraan and also the first part of Surah Nisa. So today, as you can see, there's a lot of ayah, but I grouped this ayah because basically there are three divisions in this ayah, and we can talk in that way instead of going to each ayah, because if you want to stop by on one ayah, two ayah, it will take a long time. So from ayah 93 to the ayah 199, so this 8 ayah, as you can say, Allah is still talking about, because as we mentioned before, Surah Al-Imraan and Surah Baqarah, they are called paired surah. And both of the surah has a lot of similarities. In the beginning of the Surah Al-Imraan, we mentioned these similarities. That, there are some, and today also we'll see there's some other similarities. One of the similarities is obviously Surah Al-Imraan is primarily revealed for the people of the book, the people of the scripture, for the Christian and the Jewish people. Now we saw that one part of Al-Imraan, and the quiz was on that part also, that a big part of the Al-Imraan was about the prophets of the past, especially the prophet of the Bani Israel. I will talk about the Zakaria alayhi salam, Maryam alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam. So those part was for the Christian. Now and Allah continued that conversation. Then Allah had an ayah about how we should give dawah to the people of the book. That at the end Allah is saying, look, whatever I'm telling you, whatever science, whatever ayah I'm saying, at the end believe in at least one thing, that you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and no one else. That is the ayah of 64. And Allah said, okay, come together and believe the thing that we all common between us. But still they don't want to believe, so Allah give them the other ayah and other signs, and Allah telling the status of their mind. So in ayah 92, if you remember the last ayah, before this, it was the ayah about Allah said that you cannot ever attain the al-bir. Al-bir is a state of your mind. It is more than iman, it's more than ihsan, it's the top level of iman, as you can say. You cannot do that until you spend from whatever you love. And then Allah, the next ayah Allah talked about something about Bani Israel. Why is that? Allah is saying all food was lawful to children of Israel except what Israel had made unlawful himself before the Torah was revealed. So bring the Torah and recite if you should be truthful. Meaning Allah is saying they had something that haram and halal in their book. But and it was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they could have a lot of different kind of food, but they made it haram for themselves. Meaning they changed the book and everything. So this is the same topic that Allah talked before. And then Allah is saying whoever invents about Allah untruth after that, then those are truly the wrongdoers. So Allah keep going. This whole ayah, the whole section is about those people who making a lie against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and most predominantly Allah is talking about the Jewish people here, as Allah has mentioned Torah here. Allah didn't mention the Injil here because they also changed their book later on and everything, but primarily it is come from the Jewish people. And if you remember, when we went to the half of Surah Al-Baqarah, if anyone can tell me, what is the middle ayah of the Surah Al-Baqarah? If anybody remembers, it was a famous ayah, and we talked about this also miracle of the Quran, because that ayah said, sorry?
Take the middle way.
Take the middle way, not exactly. Allah said, Kazalika ja'alnakum ummatan wasata, that I have made you the middle nation. Okay, or the wasata, we said the wasata means middle, means the top of a mountain. Like you're also middle, you're also top. And before that ayah, before the half of the ayah, lot of things are talked about Ibrahim alayhi salam, especially regarding Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam, how they built the Kaaba, how he made a dua that, oh Allah, my generation that is coming, I'm making this house with my son, give me barakah and all these things, and also make the generation after me Muslim. And then he made another dua, give them a prophet from themselves. So it was all about Ibrahim alayhi salam. Then Allah went to the middle ayah of the Surah Al-Baqarah. Once the middle ayah was done, then we talked all about Muslims, not about Jewish anymore. So Allah started giving advice to the Muslim. And if you remember, Allah talked few times about the change of the Qibla. Allah saying, wherever you are standing for the prayer, turn your face toward the Qibla. So all the advice to the Muslim. Then Allah talk about the halal food and the haram food, all this kind of thing. Then Allah talk about different rulings, the rulings of the marriage, the rulings of the divorce, and also Allah talk about then sadaq and all these things. So that mostly what I'm trying to say, half of the Surah Baqarah are the advice for the people of the people who believe, meaning the people who are Muslim, the new Muslims, because Allah made them a new nation. Here also you'll see the same thing. Now almost we're going to the middle of the Surah Al-Imraan. And Allah talking about Ibrahim alayhi salam again here. And what is Allah saying? That the first house is built by Ibrahim alayhi salam. It's called Bakka. This is the place where Allah called Makkah, as another word for Makkah is called Bakka. And that is the ayah Allah saying here. And also Allah is saying in that place, it is a miraculous place, a blessed place. It is a blessing place, and it's also a guidance. So you all understand it is a blessed place as you all go for Hajj and everything. And also it is a guidance. Why it is a guidance? Because guidance comes from there. That is our center. That is where we face our prayer and everything. So all the guidance comes from there. And also Rasulullah was to face the Kaaba, and everything centralized around the Kaaba. So that's what Allah mentioned, that it is the blessed place and it is also the guidance. And indeed, also Allah said, there are other signs also there. What are the other signs? The first thing Allah mentioned, the Maqam Ibrahim. The Maqam Ibrahim, the people who went to Hajj, you all already know that thing. That this is a stone that that Allah sent from the heaven, and it was helped Ibrahim alayhi salam to stand on it, and he has his footstep there. So Allah is also mentioning it here. And then Allah is saying the last two ayat that about the Jewish people. These are the signs that Ibrahim is a prophet of you also. This is your father also. So why don't I'm telling the truth about him, and you don't agree about the place, the blessed place of Makkah, because it was narrated in some other books of the tafsir that Jewish people also had the talk about Makkah, and also the place of the Kaaba that Ismail and Ibrahim made, but they changed it, and they said that they changed the name as Sakka in their book, and they say it is some place we don't know where it is. So they just try to forget about the place. They don't even admit that this is the place. And they made the place in a different way. And then Allah said, why do you abide from the way of Allah, those who believe? So Allah is saying, you are seeing that Allah talking to the people of the Medina also here, that there are people who are believing in me, people who are following this messenger, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but why are you going away from the path of what they are doing? So basically Allah is asking them question what they are doing. Now from ayah 100, as I said, like the Surah Al-Baqarah, now Allah will talk about Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu few times, and very powerful advices in this part of Al-Imraan. And the first thing, who you believe, if you obey party of those, so Allah is talking to the people of the Medina obviously, and also through them is talking to us. Now you have to understand this ayah when you read the translation and everything, that Allah put the ayah in such a way that it befits the people of that time, meaning the Sahaba and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also it is an advice for us. That's how Allah placed the ayah. Yes, there are some ayah particularly for that time, but still from there we can get wisdom and everything. And these ayat are it has two-dimensional wisdom, as you can say. That's for them also advice, and for us to follow it up. So Allah is saying here, oh, you believe, if you obey a party of those who are given the scripture, they would turn you back, and after you believe. Meaning, if we still, because the people of Medina, they become Muslim recently. It's not been 1 or 2 or 3 years only. And this is before Battle of Uhud. And after that, they have a long-time relationship with the people of the Jewish and everything. They need before Islam. So Allah is saying, if you still are a Muslim and you go them and you try to follow them, their intention is they will turn you back from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how could you disbelieve? So Allah is asking the believer, how could you disbelieve if the ayah are reciting unto you by the Prophet amongst you? Meaning Allah is saying, there is no chance for you to disbelieve, because every day almost you are getting fresh ayah from the Jibreel. And who is reciting on this ayah? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is a Rasul from me among you. So how can you disbelieve on this? Then in the 102 ayah, this 102 ayah number 102, yes, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullahu haqqa tuqatihi. This ayah is always recited in every Jummah, in every Imam. When they start the Jummah khutbah, it is a part of a sunnah and everything, that this is the advice that, there's few ayahs, this ayah, and also some ayah from Surah Al-Ahzab, and the first ayah of Surah Nisa, all these 3 or 4 ayah, most of the Imam, almost 99.9% Imam, even our Imam Shaykh Yusuf, when he start the khutbah, if you listen to him, this ayah must be recited. It's kind of a sunnah, and because it is a powerful advice. What Allah is saying, O who you believe, fear Allah as he should be feared. Ittaqullah haqqa tuqatihi. Now here in English it's a fear Allah. Ittaqa means not fear actually, because fear in Arabic called khawf. It is also in Urdu. The khawf means like you fear something. Ittaqa means to protect yourself. So Allah is saying, be a protectful person, be a muttaqi, as Allah should be afraid of for the protection. What means here basically? And after this ayah revealed, Sahaba told Rasulullah, Ya Allah, Ya Rasulullah, how can we do, protect ourselves? How can you, make Allah happy as He should be happy? Because haqqa tuqatihi means as Allah deserves to be worshipped, or as Allah deserves to be feared, or as Allah deserves to be pleased by us. Because nobody can please the way that Allah should be. Then Rasulullah said in another ayah, Surah Al-Taghabun, in a different place, Allah said, Allah mentioned in another ayah that wattaqullaha mastata'tum, meaning you fear Allah, or you seek protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be a muttaqi as much as you can. So here it means fear Allah, or try to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking His protection as much as you can, and do not die until wala tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Wala tamutunna, it is, if you really translate in English, it means don't you dare die, don't even think of dying, except for the state of Islam, Muslim, antum muslimun. And why Allah didn't say mu'minun? Because Allah talked Muslimun. Muslim is the word that comes from the root of Islam, right? As you all know that. And we talked also that this surah is all about Islam. This is the surah Al-Imraan. We talked before, in the dina inna Allah in Islam. To Allah, only acceptable religion is Islam. So in previously Surah Al-Baqarah, we talked about Iman, a lot of time about the Iman and everything, the heart. And also, Iman is a matter of heart, but Islam is a matter of action. So that's what Allah is saying is Islam. So you have to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to ask protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing the action as a Muslim. And then Allah saying the 103 ayah, this is the ayah also you probably heard in a lot of time. And Allah saying, hold firmly to the rope of Allah. وَأَعْتِسِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا. Allah is saying, hold tight to the rope of Allah. And Ali ibn Abi Talib, Abdullah ibn Masud, all these big Sahaba, the ulama of that time, they said the rope of Allah means, what is the rope of Allah means? Anybody knows? The Quran, yes. The rope of Allah means the Quran. And Abdullah ibn Masud said that the Quran is such a rope that it is extended from the heaven, that Allah has dropped from the heaven as if it's dropped from the sky, and it is hanging there. As long as you hold firm to this, you will be unified. And here it says Jamian. Jamian is the word from the word in the Jama. As you all know, we do the Jama, right? And Jamian means either you hold together the rope, Jamian, everybody hold together the rope, or it could be Jamian means the hold the Quran completely, meaning follow everything in the Quran as you can follow, as mentioned in the previous ayah. So as much as you can follow the Quran. But most of the scholars say Jamian means hold the rope together with everybody else. And when you imagine the picture is a bunch of people, if all of us hold a rope, how are we going to be standing? If we hold the rope together, obviously we'll be close to each other. So we'll come close to each other, and that's why Allah wants, that is how the unity will come into the ummah. And then Allah said, and remember the favor Allah upon you. So this ayah, the favor of Allah upon you, for those times, for the Sahaba, Allah is saying, because Sahaba was there's a tribal, community in the Arab, and they used to fight each other. But Allah is saying, I bring peace upon them. This is the favor that I made you Muslim. And in this ayah, Allah said here, you can see, He brought the hearts together, and you become, and by His favor, you become brothers. Now, in Arabic, brothers, in Arabic it's called ikhwan. There's a word for brothers called ikhwan. There's another word for brother, ikhwa. So there's one thing called ikhwatun or ikhwanun. So there's two types of brother. When you say ikhwa with a ta, it means blood brother, like your own brother. When you say ikhwan, it means brother in call, like we call each other brother. We say, you are my brother, brother, how are you? You're not my blood brother, but you're a brother because of Islam. So Allah brought here the ikhwan, not the blood brother. But in another place, where Allah said in Surah Al-Hujurat, Allah said, innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. Over there Allah said, if you're a mu'min, because here Allah talking about the Islam. So you're in the first level of Islam. You have the Muslim, you just become Muslim. But if you want to be a mu'min, you become two brothers to each other as if they are their blood brother. That's why Allah mentioned in the other part of the Quran, innamal mu'minuna, that you are not a mu'min until you take other as a brother. And then Allah saying, let there be rising from you a nation inviting the good, enjoying what is right and right. So Allah is saying, so these are, now all the advices for the Muslim, Allah is saying, if you hold tight, first of all, you have to be fearful of Allah. So that is a personal thing Allah is talking about, that everybody's taqwa is different. My taqwa, your taqwa is different. You fear Allah, that you try to do things for Allah, only you knows. And that is your level, the way you want to do it. My one is different, some brothers' one is different. So that is the personal. The Ayah 102 is a personal thing. Ayah 103 is a group thing. Allah is saying, hold tight to the rope of Allah, jami'an, together, and do not be divided. Do not be divided and become brothers to each other. Because it's a favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah has put us in Islam so that we can hold the rope and we can become the brothers of each other. And then Allah is saying, now from a group, so personal group, now you become a nation, you become an ummah. And what the ummah should do, this ummah should call for the inviting to the good, and then also enjoying what is right and forbid what is wrong. That is the three jobs that a ummah should do here. And do not be like those ones who became divided and different after the clear proofs has come to them. Meaning, obviously the same thing they know. When a proof is coming, don't be different. But that doesn't mean that Muslim cannot differ on anything. Yes, there could be legitimate difference between different things, different fiqh and everything. But we should not be divided. We should be tafarruq. Tafarruq means that we divide different ways. There's one word called ikhtilaf. Ikhtilaf means in one issue, how you're going to pray. Shafi mazhab has a different way of praying. Hanbali has a different way of praying. That is ikhtilaf. That is not tafarruq. Tafarruq means completely divided. Like you have a different way of, your aqidah and different way. But Allah is saying here, the tafarruq thing, don't be like tafarruq. Yes, legitimate ikhtilaf is allowed in Islam. And this ayah, Allah is talking about some sins about the day of judgment. Allah is saying, whoever follow all these things that we just talked, they will have a bright face in the day of judgment. And and whoever who have white face, Allah's mercy will be on those the bright faces or the white faces. And these are the verses of Allah. We recite to them. So Allah is saying, these are the signs of Allah. I recite to them, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah wants to injustice on this world. To Allah belong the heaven and the earth. So Allah just saying that all these things coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the favor, the ayah and everything, all these verses, and this is from because Allah everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the heaven and the world, and you are the best, and again Allah is saying, you are the best nation produced for mankind. Lin nas, meaning here Allah is saying, you nation is for the best, this is the best thing happen for the whole humanity of the world, because kuntum khayratum ummatun ukhrajat lin nas. That you are the best nation, I have brought you for the people, for the humanity. And again Allah is saying what you should do as a good nation, what is your responsibility? Invite them for the good and forbid from the wrong. Now, only on ayah number 110 there are books written. As a nation, what is means to calling to the dawah? Does it mean, what becomes this one? Because the word here used ma'ruf. Ma'ruf means what is something good. And munkar means something bad. So what are this list of things that as a Muslim nation should do? But we're not going to go into that detail. It's a very big discussion. When you say inviting others, what does it mean? But obviously you should use your hikmah and everything to give dawah. You just not like go to anyone and just say, okay, Allah said this, I cannot be friends with non-Muslim and this and this. You have to use your hikmah and your knowledge to invite different things to different people. The way you invite your parents is much different the way you invite your brothers in the masjid. The way you invite the brothers in the masjid is much different the way you invite, your colleagues at work and everything. So every level has a different way of doing dawah and everything. And these ayahs, Allah saying, Allah after saying this one, the nation thing, Allah saying, you are the best nation, you should do this one. Allah talking about the if you become a best nation, you have another nation residing beside you in Medina, the Jewish people, and what they're trying to do. So Allah is saying, don't worry about those people. They cannot harm you as long as you are together. They cannot do this one, and they have been put under humiliation, because they are not following the ayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah and the curse of the angels and everything is on them, and also they are not all the same. Now from ayah 113, Allah is talking about those nations, the Jewish and everything, they also have good people. And Allah, this is the second time Allah mentioning this in this surah. They know not all Ahlul Kitab are as Allah described. Not everybody changed their book. Not everybody disbelieved. There are people there who among the scripture is a community standing, reciting the verse of Allah during the periods of night and prostrating. So Allah is saying they also are doing tahajjud basically. Allah is saying there are people there, they are also doing tahajjud, they are declaring the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and all these things. They believe in Allah in the last day. So they believe in the Allah and the Yawmul Qiyamah, and also that they enjoy what is right and what is forbidden. The same thing the Ummah, Allah told us to do as a Muslim Ummah. Allah is saying they are already doing those things. Some of them are like this. And there's a big discussion, how are those people? This could be people between the time of Isa and Isa and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not everybody at the same time. So there are people who are still following. They didn't, still, Isa is the son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Astaghfirullah. They still believe that Allah is one, and this whole world is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there is a day of judgment where everything will be happening. So these are the good people Allah talking about. Before, when Allah talked about the good people in Surah Al-Imraan, Allah talked about two things. Allah said, there are people, if you give them like a room full of wealth and money and everything, they will take care of it. You don't have to supervise them. And there are people among them, if you give them 1 dinar, and if you want to get them back, you have to supervise them. They will take it away. So before Allah give the difference with the wealth and the money, because Allah is talking about that one. But now Allah talking about the real taqwa inside them. There are people who really believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in this those who disbelieve, never, and then Allah is talking about the people who disbelieve, their wealth and their children will never ever help them in the day of judgment. And the example of those people who not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their wealth and money and everything is like a wind, a very, very cold wind. When it touches the crop, and crop means, actually harb is a different type of crop, a plant, meaning when your plant is already grown and it's ready to harvest. Like, it's already that you're just going to go cut and get your, all the hard work that you have done for the last 1 year. That is called the harb. Harb means the ready to plant. You can say that. So their thing is that they have everything ready in this world, their wealth, with their children, but the clothing, their disbelief is like a cold wind, and it will touch them and they will destroy everything they had. So the last part for this today, inshallah ta'ala, ayah number 118, 119, 120. Again, Allah Ta'ala saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, do not take as intimates. Now the word intimates, if you read the Arabic here, it says batani. Batan in Arabic means actually stomach. Batan means stomach. What is to do stomach with friends? The batan has a different root, it means friends. So the relationship between friends and this, what is the relationship? Basically, it's one type of friend. In our language we say like, this guy has in Bangla we say, pet patla. And in Urdu we say like, he cannot hold, I don't know how to say Urdu, nothing is inside them. So he's a very, he cannot hold secret of you basically. It's a friend who cannot hold your secret. You tell him that, this is my secret or something, and he goes and he tells to everyone. So his stomach is very, very thin basically. Cannot hold anything from you. So Allah is saying, don't make friends like this. And because you have friendship with the people of the Jewish people, or people who are kuffar in the Makkah, those are your friends, your relatives, and they can become like this, and they cannot hold the secrets. And that's what Allah is saying, and they will try to ruin you if you make this kind of friendship. And here you are loving them, but they are not loving you. Basically, Allah is saying that you still have love for them because you become a Muslim, the kindness and everything. You have a love towards those people. You want them to come to the Islam, but they inside their mind, they are not loving you. And if the good touches you, so something good happens to the Muslim, it distresses them. So they become stressful. Why is happening? And why Allah is saying this? Because recently we had the Battle of Badr in the Muslim, and it was a big win for the Muslim. They never thought, the 70 big leaders of the Quraysh was dead in that battle. And Muslim was 1/3, 300 people only, fighting against 1,000 people. It is such a big thing. Never ever it happened in their time before. Such a small army without training, without proper animals, without proper horse, without proper sword, they fight with a strong 1,000 people and they beat them. And that makes them distressed. And that's their planning that next time how they're going to take revenge and everything. And just ayah number 121 that inshallah ta'ala will do next week, it start the post commentary of Battle of Uhud. So just before Allah talk about the Battle of Uhud, Allah is giving the scene here that in Battle of Badr, it was something good, something blessed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that made the Meccan people distressed. They're stressed out and everything, and you may love them, you don't want them to come to Islam, but they have a big hatred among them, and they're coming, maybe to revenge and everything. And inshallah ta'ala we'll see how Allah put the comments about Battle of Uhud next week. Jazakallahu khair. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.